Hello, today I'm going to make a journal, actually a glue book, out of two magazines. I got this idea from Jamie Ridler at Jamie Ridler Studios when I was looking at some YouTube videos yesterday, and I thought that it was very cool what she made, and so I really wanted to make one as well. So here we have it. I'm going to use two Somerset Studio magazines called Journaling, and hopefully it will turn out as well as Jamie's did. Anyway, my name is Laura. I'm from the Queen of Mirth, and I'm very happy to be here with you today. Let's get going with this. The two books that I chose are absolutely beautiful, I think, and I've already harvested a lot of them. They're several years old. I'm not going to be using them as magazines anymore, but in this project, I'm going to be able to save some of the images and articles that I love the most in these magazines. So they're going to have an absolute new life. Now, the first thing that I have to do is decide which one I want to take the top cover off. I remove the cover from one, and the last, and the, what do you call it, the bottom cover, the bottom anyway, of the magazine from the other one. And I decided that I would do it this way because I like, I most like the image on the one that I have at the bottom, which is the one that I will rip out, and I'll use that image for something else. And this cover will be completely covered. There. Um, what I do is I simply rip off the back cover of one of the magazines, and as I said, the top cover of the other one. I hope that this is working out, this voiceover thing. This is the first time I've ever made a voiceover on a video. As you know, I'm learning as I go with producing these videos. I started my channel during COVID, and I didn't know a single thing about making a video. In fact, I had never ever made even one. Not even with my phone. I didn't use the video thing. So now I've pretty much learned how to make a video. I do everything myself, but this is the first time that I've tried to do a voiceover. And the reason I'm doing it is because I kind of have to. I made the mistake of filming this entire video with my fan on. We're having a heat wave here in Vancouver, and I had my electric fan right next to my camera set up, and or I should say my iPhone set up, and and all you could hear practically was the sound of the fan. It was dreadful. So I decided to try to salvage this video by because I like it, I decided to try to salvage it by doing a voiceover. So I've deleted the audio that I made with the fan, and now here I am trying to do the voiceover, but I have to try to match my actions with my words. And as it's the first time I've ever done such a thing, I am hopefully going to be able to be successful. Now, what I'm doing here is using a glue stick to stick the two magazines together. I'm using a Pritt glue stick. I'm not 100% sure of how they last, this particular kind. I understand it's a pretty good one, and it's what I happen to have around right now, so that's why I'm using it. And Uhu is my favorite. And I'm also going to put a little bit of art glitter glue to reinforce the glue stick binding, or adhesive, I mean. The art glitter glue, of course, is a very trustworthy adhesive, but I don't want to put it all over the back and the front of the magazine. I don't want a lot of ripples or anything like that. Jamie in her video used only glue stick, and she actually has a second video where she does a flip through of the completed um, glue book, and she calls it a, what does she call it? She doesn't call it a glue book. She calls it a picture book, but it's the same thing. And it's absolutely lovely. So I do recommend that you go and take a look at hers, and maybe it will inspire you like it inspired me. And hopefully, I'll inspire you as well to try this on your own. Um, what I did was I lined up the two magazines and pressed down carefully, and I spent a little bit of time making sure that they were actually, or that the two pages were adhering to one another the way that I wanted them to. So right here is where I'm just checking the edges to make sure that they're aligned. I really enjoyed this project, and I hope that my glue book will last for a long time. I have plans for it because it's made from these beautiful Somerset Studio magazines that I love. I hope to be able to incorporate some of the gorgeousness of the Somerset Studio um, publications into my own glue book. And hopefully, I'll come up with something that is really beautiful. At least that's my dream for this particular glue book. I love glue books because they're so relaxing to make, and they're so utterly enjoyable to flip through later or to look at. And I never put anything in a glue book that I don't really love. It's kind of like the Marie Kondo thing. If the image doesn't spark joy, I won't use it especially in a glue book. Well, anywhere actually. It's kind of my most basic rule for collage of any kind. And anyway, here we are. Now, what I did, and Jamie didn't do this. She didn't make her cover right away, but I thought that I would. This is I cut them before making the video. I cut two pieces of craft paper. They're from a scrapbooking paper book from Michaels. They call it the Hot Buy, and I don't know how every so often they change them, but they sell at Michaels very inexpensively, like maybe $4 for the whole package, and you usually get I think maybe 48 pages of really nice cardstock, and they have quite a selection. So whenever I'm in Michael's, I go by there and take a look and see if there's anything I want. And I did choose this little book, because it had different kinds of brown craft paper with prints on them. And it's double-sided paper as well. So I was quite happy with it, and I've been able to use it. It's a very, very nice thickness. And these kinds of papers, being this basic color, are totally versatile. I can use them in lots of different projects. So this one just has hearts. So I simply adhere the top cover. I made both the same, the top and the bottom, the front and the back covers. And being so nice and thick, there's no chance of bubbles forming on my covers, and they just look very good, I think. So here we are. I'm putting the back cover on, and I probably will collage the front cover, but not the back cover, for a couple of reasons. One is I like simplicity, and also I want to be able to very easily discern the front from the back cover. I won't be trying to open it from the back if the front is distinctively, um, you know, collaged on, and it is definitely going to look like the front. And I don't know if I'm going to have a tie closure or not. I don't think I'll worry about that until I see how the book expands when I put in a lot of different images. I've taken out pages in order to make the books a little bit thinner and in order for them to accommodate all of the gluing, but I still don't know how that's going to work. I took out quite a few pages actually, and I had already harvested the magazines. So, yeah, I had a fairly good choice of magazines to use for this project, and I did decide on two that are the same. I could have picked, two different kinds of magazines as long as they're exactly the same size and the same kind of paper. So I would have chosen any two Stampington magazines for this particular one. And I did choose the good quality magazines, like with the good quality, nice paper, because I want this glue book to last and I want to absolutely love it. And I don't think that I would be using the magazines anymore. I've already read what I want to read out of them, and I've taken a lot of the images out already. So, anyway, here we are. I've got both on. Now, what I'm doing is I'm putting on a spine, and for that, I'm using some tape that I ordered from Amazon quite a while ago. I don't know quite what they call it, but it's originally made for some kind of workman or work thing, construction workers or painters or something, but it's a nice tape, and it of course is the craft color, the brown, that will go with this particular the particular covers that I've chosen. So what I do is I just simply line up the tape, and I can do that using the hearts, so I know that it's straight, and then I'm just making it stick nicely to the spine of my book. It's kind of exciting to be able to say my book rather than my two magazines, but what it is the two magazines that I have now put together to form one book. I just love this idea, and I love the idea of not having to ever throw these magazines away, but use them to make something that I really love and that I will want to keep. And I hope that I'll be looking through this book once it has the pictures in it, the images in it. I'm hoping that I'll want to look in it for quite some time, or many different times. I'm just so grateful that I can spend my time doing stuff like this, these kinds of projects. It's really wonderful, especially now that I'm retired from my, day job. I can spend my time doing this and painting. I do a lot of painting, a lot of visual art of different kinds, but I love to paint and I love to make books. I made my first book, the first one I can remember making, other than when I was a real child, was, maybe 50 years ago or more, 55 years ago. I wanted to keep some poems that I had found in a magazine. I didn't want to keep the whole magazine, but I wanted the poems, and also I had a couple of a couple of articles from other magazines that I had clipped out, and I didn't really have a place to put them. I didn't have a scrapbook or anything. So one night I just made one, and it turned out quite well. I was happy with it. I wish I still had it. I could show you, but it's gone the way many, many things have gone. So anyway, I started there, and then gradually over the years I took a few courses in bookbinding and worked on my skills as best I could. Now, um, what I've done here is I'm just showing you the book itself now that I have the spine on, and how it opens flat, which to me is important. I like my books to be opening flat. Well, thank you very much for being with me today. I really appreciate it, and I would like to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and to enter my giveaway, which you will find out about if you read the description box below. Take care now, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.